We're here to take the world's most critical business decisions and really just strip them down to the facts you need.
And today we have a big one.
A huge one. For any organization out there, the choice of your productivity suite, we're talking Google Workspace versus Microsoft 365. It's not just about preference, is it?
No, not at all. It's foundational. It's your infrastructure. It dictates how your teams collaborate, how your data is secured, and maybe most importantly right now, how quickly you can adapt to the whole AI revolution.
Right. The classic choice, Google's Docs, Sheets, and Gmail on one side.
And Microsoft's Word, Excel, and Outlook on the other. It's a core strategic lever, and it really does impact every single department.
So our mission today is to simplify just a massive global data set for you. We're digging into the findings from a blinded quantitative survey. It was run by an independent firm, Hypothesis Group.
Right, and they spoke to 1,600 full-time employees. And this was global, 7 countries, the U.S., U.K., Germany, France, India, Japan, and Brazil. The survey itself was done mid-year 2025.
And the scope here is so important for getting, an impartial picture. They didn't just go after IT directors in big companies.
Exactly. They balanced the sample. They looked at all different company sizes, so from small businesses all the way up to enterprise level, companies with over 1,000 employees.
And they really focused on the everyday user.
They did, specifically the individual contributors, or ICs, because let's be honest, that's where the real productivity actually happens.
Okay, so the core question was pretty straightforward then. Which platform, when you look at the whole ecosystem, delivers the most measurable value right now, especially with AI like Gemini and Copilot fully integrated?
Yeah.
We've broken this down into 4 key areas. First, AI value, then IT management and security. After that, the huge one, the human factor, employee retention. And finally, we'll connect it all to business growth.
Let's jump right in with a topic it's in every boardroom conversation right now, AI.
Okay, AI showdown. We know AI adoption is happening fast. The survey says 88% of organizations are already adopting or at least actively exploring these technologies.
The real question is which platforms users feel like they're getting actual value, not just, hype.
And what did the data say?
The reported gap is?
Yeah.
It's substantial. When asked if the integrated AI features are valuable, 82% of Workspace users say yes.
82%, okay. And for Microsoft 365?
Only 66%. So right there, that's a 16 percentage point gap in just the overall user perception of AI utility.
That is a strong start, but it gets really interesting, I think, when you drill down into the people doing the day-to-day work, the individual contributors. That's where an AI rollout either succeeds or it just fails.
Precisely. For the average IC, that gap widens dramatically. Only 44% of M365 ICs felt the AI provided genuine value.
44, wow.
Yeah, compare that to the 67% of Workspace ICs who agree. That's a 22-point gap. It suggests that Gemini's integration, at least when this survey was taken, it was just way more impactful for the core workforce.
And that has to link directly back to the bottom line, right? I mean, if users don't find the AI valuable, you're just not going to see any ROI.
That's it, exactly. Google Workspace users reported a significantly greater return on investment from Gemini. We're talking a 15 percentage point gap over M365. And on top of that, they reported more confidence in actually using the AI in their work.
Confidence is key.
It's a 17-point gap in confidence. Because if your employees don't feel confident using the tool, it just becomes expensive shelfware.
Okay, so confidence is higher. Where are the ICs actually using it and seeing the biggest gains? The survey must have some specifics on that.
It does, and it points to those complex, time-consuming data tasks. The data suggests Gemini really excels at the stuff that bogs down knowledge workers.
Like what?
So automating repetitive tasks, that was a big one. Deep research using Gen AI, another. But the most notable was organizing data with generative AI. For ICs, that saw a massive 30 percentage point gap in favor of Workspace.
A 30-point gap. That's staggering. It makes me wonder if it's just about the AI itself or if it's the underlying platform. I mean, could the simplicity of, say, Sheets and Docs make it easier for Gemini to do its thing compared to the, historically more complex Excel environment?
I think that's a critical point. The architecture has to play a role. And the data kind of reinforces this idea of simplicity because Workspace users were way more likely to find Gemini accessible and easy to use on desktop and on mobile.
And that translates directly into utility for the average person.
Right, it seems to. And when you put it all together, you see why 53% of Workspace users found Gemini useful for real, everyday users like themselves versus only 43% for Copilot. The value isn't theoretical. It's apparently built right into the daily workflow.
It's easy to get fixated on the cool AI features, but none of it matters if the platform is, sinking your IT budget or putting your data at risk. Let's shift from the cool factor to the cold, hard operational side.
Let's do it. Segment 2, security and IT management costs.
So, IT management, it's one of the biggest overheads for any large company. What did the survey say about which platform is seen as easier to manage?
Well, the evidence was pretty compelling. Overall, 84% of Workspace users said the suite improved IT management. For M365, that number was 73%.
That's an 11-point difference in perceived efficiency, which, should translate into lower costs. Did the users actually claim they were seeing that?
They did. 77% of Workspace users said it lowers IT management costs. For M365, that number's down at 64%.
Okay, a 13-point gap.
And it's reinforced by other data. GW users were more likely to report spending less time on routine IT tasks, and this is the big one, fewer support tickets overall.
That reduction in support tickets alone must save just a staggering amount of time and resources, especially in huge companies. I imagine that difference only gets bigger for enterprise organizations.
It does. It actually becomes even more pronounced. For companies with over 1,000 employees, 79% of Workspace users claim it lowers IT costs. That's an 18-point gap over M365 users in the same boat. And their reported ability to reduce the need for support tickets also showed a 15-point margin for Workspace. It seems like the bigger the company, the harder the complexity of the alternative platform hits the budget.
Manageability is one thing, but security is, it's non-negotiable. What about actual security outcomes over the last couple of years?
This is a really important question. How does your platform choice affect actual security incidents? The critical metric here is that 33% of Workspace users claimed the number of incidents had decreased over the last 24 months.
Okay, 1/3. And for M365?
That figure was 22%.
That is a major difference. We're talking about a 50% higher likelihood of seeing a decrease in incidents reported by the Google user base. So what's behind that? Is it the architecture, the controls? What are users responding to?
It suggests that the native security controls are not only robust, but maybe more importantly, they're easy to manage. Workspace was cited much more often for providing easy-to-manage built-in security features. That was 85% agreement versus 73% for M365.
So it's not security through more complexity, but through simplicity.
It seems so. It delivers security through simplified native management, which the IT teams clearly appreciate.
We've talked technology, we've talked money. Let's talk about the people. This is our third segment, the human factor. Because in today's talent market, your tech is a tool for attracting and keeping great employees.
And this is where the reported differences move from, significant to truly enormous. Your tech stack is a huge driver of employee experience, and that experience directly impacts retention.
So what's the headline number on retention?
It's a big one. 76% of Google Workspace users said the suite improves employee retention. For M365 users, just 58%.
An 18 percentage point gap. That is huge. If you apply that kind of differential across a large company, the effect on the HR, budget, recruiting, onboarding, training, it's just massive.
And that retention benefit is really underpinned by overall job satisfaction.
Right.
85% of Workspace users said it improves employee satisfaction, compared to 76% for M365. And that held true even in the largest enterprise companies.
And it seems like it goes beyond just individual satisfaction. The platform seems to color the perception of the company culture itself.
That was a fascinating finding, yeah. Workspace users were more likely to describe their company culture as innovative or forward-thinking. That was 53% versus 46%.
Interesting.
And they were more likely to see their company as well-prepared for the future of work. It suggests the platform choice is either reflecting or maybe even encouraging a more flexible, modern mindset.
And that modern mindset is so tied to being able to work flexibly. On the go. The mobility aspect has to play a huge role in that.
Absolutely. The data confirms it. Workspace users were much more likely to report that the suite works well on mobile devices. That's 81% agreement versus 67% for M365.
And people vote with their feet or their thumbs in this case?
Exactly. That perception translates into real behavior.
Yeah.
GW users were significantly more likely to be doing work on their smartphone, 34% versus 22%, and on their tablets. When the tool is frictionless on mobile, people use it.
Okay, for our final segment, let's connect all of these dots. The AI value, the IT stability, the high employee satisfaction. Let's bring it back to tangible business outcomes. Productivity, growth.
Right. This is why organizations invest in these suites in the first place. They expect a return.
So what's the first key metric on output?
85% of Workspace users said the suite makes their team more productive. That compares to 75% for M365 users. And it also facilitates collaboration. 91% of GW users reported improved collaboration.
And better collaboration and productivity should, in theory, lead to more innovation. Did the users see that link?
They did. 85% of Workspace users said the suite facilitates innovation versus 75% for M365. And a huge factor driving this seems to be how well it plays with other tools.
Integration.
Yes. GW users reported much better integration with the other software they use. Think Slack, CRMs, project management tools. We're looking at 80% agreement versus 62% for M365. That 18-point gap in integration means way less friction when you're trying to do something new.
That makes sense. Less friction, less time on routine tasks. It frees you up to focus on the core work. But did all these user-reported benefits actually correlate to hard-reported business growth?
This is where the whole picture really comes into focus. When they looked at business events over the past 2 years, the findings were striking. 66% of Workspace users reported an increase in annual revenue.
66%. Okay, what about M365?
52%.
That's a 14 percentage point difference in claimed revenue growth. For you, the listener, just imagine that difference applied across your organization. It really positions the platform as a potential growth accelerator, not just a utility.
And here's the most important follow-up question, the one that ties it all together. Of those users who saw revenue go up, 75% of the Google Workspace users said the platform played an important role in that increase.
And for Microsoft?
Only 61% of M365 users who saw growth credited their platform in the same way.
So the pattern holds across other growth metrics too, I assume?
Absolutely. Workspace users also reported higher rates of headcount growth. That's 58% versus 42%, and higher rates of scaling up their infrastructure and tech investments. The totality of the data just consistently links Google Workspace to stronger reported performance.
So after all that, what does this mean for you as you're trying to navigate this massive productivity decision?
The overarching theme from this global survey is this consistently stronger perception of utility and impact from Google Workspace users.
Right. We saw it across all 4 key areas. From the individual contributors seeing more value in Gemini's AI,
to the IT department reporting real costs and security benefits.
and of course that huge 18 percentage point advantage claimed in employee retention.
It really confirms that your choice of suite is a serious performance lever. It's not just a necessary expense. And there was one final potent insight in the data. Organizations that actually switched to Workspace saw stronger AI confidence, higher ROI, and higher retention than those who switched to M365.
Okay, so for you, the listener, the final provocative thought to leave you with should build on that idea of quantified ROI. The question isn't just whether your current suite works well enough. It's whether you can currently put a number on the financial and human capital return you are seeing from its integrated AI features. How would quantifying that exact ROI or the lack of it change your perspective on your current productivity stack? And whether it's time to rethink that strategic foundation.
Food for thought indeed.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.